Okay, let's look at drawing. It's 6.7-1 in the new edition of the textbook. And here's an isometric view of the completed object. But I want to let's look at the drawing. Now, granted, it's a sketch in the textbook, and you're using the grid lines to determine your sizes. But what I want to talk about is hidden lines and feature lines. You've been exposed to hidden lines in 1101 and in 1103 also, but now we're looking at things in a 3D environment. So let me open up. I don't want that. I'd rather have it the other way. I should have done that before. I want them vertical. Okay, so if I look at in the textbook, this line right here is this plane as I'm looking at it from the front view from this side. And so I have no hidden lines in my front view because everything is visible. But when I go to my side view, I've got a series of hidden lines. This hidden line right here is this surface plane. And if I look at it from that side, there's the hidden line. Okay. And then this hidden line, the vertical one, is actually this surface plane right there. Okay. Now, the hole is the two hidden lines. That gives you the actual hole. And you can see the shape of it there. Okay. Now, in this sketch of the right side view, you can see this little dash continues on out. That is not an extension of the hidden line. That is a center line. But because we have a hidden line in its place where the center line would go, we just draw a little short dash to the outside, and notice it is not connected to the object. That is to indicate the end of what would normally be a center line. And if you look at the page in the textbook on hierarchy of lines or precedence of lines, it will tell you that a visible line is the highest hierarchy, then a hidden line, and then a center line is the least in the hierarchy. So if you have multiple lines in one location, you would draw the one of the highest hierarchy, which would be a visible line or a hidden line, and then lastly a center line. Okay, but in a case like this, and we're not doing drawings yet, so I'm not going to get into that. I just want you to know that in the drawings in the textbook, you may see a little dash extending out beyond the object. That is not an extension of a hidden line. That is a center line. Okay, so now then, no changes to that. How do you draw this? You can do it in 3 steps or 4 steps. It's totally up to you. I'm going to this one, and this one, when I did this one, let me go into edit the sketch. I created a sketch on my front plane, tied it to the origin down here at the bottom corner, drew my shape, dimensioned it, finished it out, and extruded it out the correct length. Then I did this sketch on the back surface of my original object. Drew my rectangle, dimensioned it. These 2 corners here are actually constrained to the side of the object of the first sketch. And so that extruded out to here. Then I did this sketch just on the end of that previous extrusion. Drew the box, the square, dimensioned it, constrained it, and then I placed the hole. Okay, now you could have done this in one operation by doing your sketch down on the XZ plane and extruding up. It's either way works, whichever you feel the best about. Now, holes. Okay, so in this case, and you can do this, you can extrude holes. There's not a problem with that. And to start with, it may be easier for you to do that. We'll get into the hole tool later. So you just create a sketch, draw your circle, dimension it, locate it so that it's in the right location. And then when you extrude, let me go in here, edit feature. You'll choose your circle as the profile, change the distance to go to the rear, and you can click here and go through all, so it'll go all the way through. And if it doesn't pick this up, then you can change it to cut right there, and it will cut the hole for you. And that's kind of how you do that. So when you save this one, be sure and put your name in the file name, and you can save it as 6.7-1. I'm in the process of switching all those things over, and then submit that in Dropbox. If you got questions, send us an email, see us on WebEx, come into the lab, all these things.